Hello everybody, Water here. Welcome to episode 13 of my second Let's Play series for Oxygen Not Included. Now in the last episode we finally built a couple of ranches for our Blasted Ceres for all natural tallow production. And today I think it's time to get started on our industrial brick. So that's going to take maybe even more than one episode since there is a lot of stuff to do. So with that in mind, let's jump into the game and have a quick look. And here we are, right at the future side of our industrial brick. Now, let's get started. And the first thing I'm going to work on is our cooling system for the metal refineries and the whole thing itself. So for that, we are going to need, first of all, our steam chamber. Let's go with igneous rock there. And that will need iron over here up to this spot there. Then I can go straight up. And that will be our steam chamber right here. Now obviously I will have to get in there, so I'm going to, for the moment, put a liquid block in this spot here, and preparation for later. Let's also get rid of all of this here for the moment. And now, while we're waiting on the pump here to create a vacuum, let's continue with a floor out of a diamond in here. On top of that floor, we can then place two liquid reservoirs out of steel. Then I can grab a couple thermal sensors, place them in those three spots here. Automation via here and straight up for those two for the moment. Then I am going to go back to the pipes and let's start over here with a couple bridges, like that. Then we have the input coming from below. Output goes towards the top. Then, and we have a lot of aluminium, so I might as well make use of that. So this is the outflow, this is the incoming. Same over here. Then we have connection here. Connection there, connection there. Connection there, connection there. Then I just need a couple of those here, and I think I have enough in ceramic to actually use that for the pipes up here, since this is going to be really hot and I don't want this to release the heat into the environment. Okay, then next up, let's grab a couple temp shift plates, and we might as well also make them out of aluminium. So let's see, something like that. Yeah, looks good. Could spam this completely, but I don't think it's necessary. Yeah, that should work. Then the last part in here would be a liquid vent there with a pipe going up to this spot there. Okay, this is looking good. So let's get this built, and once we have a proper vacuum, I can also get rid of the gas pump here and put an aqua tuner in its proper place. Just like this here. I also already put in the power wire here to the side, since I'm not entirely sure yet whether I want my power supply to come from the bottom or from the top, although I am tending towards the bottom, but we'll have to see. So anyway, next up are a couple steam turbines. So one here, the second one there. That means I can continue with a couple things. So for one, I am going to need a couple more bridges. So I will need to bridge over here. I will also need another bridge there. Then a bridge here. Another bridge here. Then one bridge down here. And another bridge down there. That should hopefully be all. Now for the ceramics. So this one goes over there. This one goes over there. Then this one here goes straight up. This goes straight up. This goes straight up. And this one here goes straight up and then over. Then I can go back to normal materials. So then all the way over here. That is all of this here connected. Okay, that's looking good already. Now, over here. I don't need this space here, so I'm just going to put in maybe some carpeted tiles. Yeah, why not? Let's make this look better than before, although I think metal is better in this case, since I may have to distribute some more heat than otherwise. Then I can put in some ladders, and here I might as well go with plastic ladders already. Over here. Then a couple pneumatic doors. And this space here is just perfect for a power control station right there. Then over here, I'm just going to close this off as usual. And I can also close off this insulated chamber here. Oh, not yet, since I still need to fill it. I almost forgot about that part. So, anyway, let's continue. I need an airflow tile at the top there. And this next floor here will actually be at this height here. So, we are going to deviate a little bit from my normal floor plan with all of this here, but this will all make sense at a later point. I hope at least. So, then over here, we are also going to need some heavy conductive wire. Just going straight down, then connecting to all of these here. And here I'm going to use the iron. Okay, good. That is looking pretty decent already. And here, well, forget it. Let's put in the rest of this floor there. And now I think it's high time I get some crude oil for the liquid reservoirs and also a minimal layer at the bottom here. So let's get down and let's see. I think I'm going to grab the oil from over here. I need to dig into this area here pretty soon anyway, so I might as well do that now. First of all, let's check for zombie spores. We have some here. Fortunately, this is only in the carbon dioxide, not in the oil. We have some more down here. A little bit in the oil there. Oh, and a lot in the oil over here. Yeah, we'll have to do some decontamination later on, definitely. But for now, I think I'm just going to dig out this area here down to this layer, I would say, with a little bit of containment for the crude oil. And yeah, that is going to be definitely my next step over here. And there we go. That is definitely going to be enough crude oil for what I have planned. I did have a little bit of an issue with overheated material around in this petrified fossil here. As you can see, there is a lot of superheated steam around, and it's still raining down. Yeah, on the other side, I was able to get some crude oil turned into petroleum without actually planning for it. So instead of continuing with my setup over here, I'm going to make a slight detour over here and climb this one. At least once I have the missing two birches in place. So let's connect all of this again. Yeah, so climb this one here with crude oil and this one here with the petroleum, which I have currently lying over here in preparation already. So that is one less thing I will have to do at a later point. I was also able to print out a strength boost for one of my ionic dupes, so the question is, who am I going to give this? Yep, Sonia, it is. Which reminds me, we could have a look at skill points. Some more athletics. Yep, definitely. Why not? And Sonia is almost entirely there, so pretty soon we should be able to get an achievement for our bionic tubes, at least if I get some more boosters, I guess. We have some more boosters available here, though. Why not? Yeah, why not? Okay, so I was able to print them out occasionally, and we might as well make use of that, even if it's not really overly necessary. Okay, so as I said, next step for the moment is getting those 2 bridges here in place, and then priming these here with crude oil and petroleum. Just like this here. And with that now out of the way, we can continue to our setup over here. So first things first, I would like to get some water in here. So let's grab some temp shift plates out of ice. And 2 should be enough here for a pressure of about 50 kilograms per tile. I will also need, or I would like to get some crude oil in there. So let's put a bottle empty there. And then I need to fill the liquid reservoirs, but I don't want to overfill. So I'm just going to put 2 temporary ones up there. And then fill them first via a bottle drainer. That will take a little while, but hopefully not too long. And then I can get rid of this pipe here and then connect these here to the corresponding setups at the bottom. Okay, now while this is all being built, we can continue over here with starting a glass forge, and we might as well use the ceramic for the plus 50 to over, or 200 to overheat temperature. Then next to that, and this is all under stations, we will have the textile loom right there. Then our exosuit forge on top of that, and then we will have a clothing refashionator over there. We might also as well replace this floor here with metal tiles. Have the flooring here. Then we have a flooring up there. Means we have a pneumatic door here. Then airflow tiles in those spots. And we also need to put a lower one there. Then the output of the glass forge is just a liquid vent up here. Connected via some ceramic piping. So that looks good so far. Now for automation, we will have an auto sweeper here, another one there, then a conveyor loader in this spot, another one in this spot, followed by 2 of these here, and for some reason I made those loaders out of aluminium, which doesn't make much sense, I think. So, okay. Good. The conveyors I will place at a later point, and I almost forgot, we also need a conveyor chute on top of there. Okay, so another thing we can already do here though is the connection straight up into this one here. And then let's we could get started on the cooling loop. So we have a cooling loop going up here, then over here, here, and here. And this will all need a good amount of cooling, so I might as well use my metal for that. And we'll see how we continue over there. Then here, let's just use normal piping. And down here. To be totally honest, I have no need to get water in here, since I'm not going with the normal beer garden anymore. I already have switched to the phytoplankton or phyto oil, and at some point in the future I'm going to also switch to crude oil, so it is not necessary at all. So we can get rid of this here and then also disconnect there and replace this one here as part of our cooling loop. Now down here we don't need that much cooling, so I can just run this all the way to over here, then up. And here we may need a bit more cooling though. So let's go through the floor. And then we will need to go over here. Then dot there, no material, and then we go up here. And that will continue further up, I would say. And on the outside, once again, we can just go with normal material, I would say. So, this one here, and then we'll just continue. And then go further up later on. Or we might even just close this off for the moment and just keep the cooling in this part here at the bottom for the episode here. And then once we continue, we might want to extend this later on. But we're not done yet. It's time for some temp shift plates. And Yeah, granite should be enough. There is not that much heat we need to remove. At least for the most part. We will need a little bit more there, though. I think I'm going with some diamonds since the glass is rather warm when it comes out of that factory there. Okay, good. That is all looking pretty good. I will worry about the conveyors and the power infrastructure once everything here is in place, but for the moment we are going to just build all of them this year. And here we go. Now in the meantime I managed to get the crude oil down here. The top is going to take a bit longer, but this means I can now close this off and then get rid of the ethanol and tile over there. Now this is going to take a little bit longer, so we can continue over here on the right side. First with a ladder going all the way up. Then over here I'm going to start with an emulsifier, and this is honestly the first time I'm building one. Ah, they need glass. Didn't realize that. Fortunately, we still had a little bit over from earlier. Then under stations, I believe it is, yep, the blast shot maker. And not out of mercury. Thank you very much for that. Yeah, we're not going to need this on this map here, likely, but I might want to export this to other colonies. Potentially. So, there. We have our ceiling slash floor. Then the normal entrance to the side. Over here we can add some shipping with 2 sweepers. A loader here. Then I have a loader up there. 2 more loaders above that. And a receptacle here. Then this one here will have to go first. So I can add a conveyor chute. And okay, someone should come by and get rid of that. Okay. So that one I can also get rid of these ladders here. And then we can also add the next layer here. Although, wait. Those 4 are at the normal height again. So then normal stuff over here. And this one here is trapped. And now it's no longer trapped. Okay. Good. Then I can add my pneumatic door. Over here, we have the space for our molecular forge, which goes right there. And then on the other side, we have our rock crusher, which goes right here. Okay, that's all looking pretty good, if I may say so. Then let's continue over here. So I need at this side here 3. And then, and this is under automation, I believe. Yep, the weight plate. Then we have a lowered. And then we have 4 raised. Then another 2. And in the gap we have our joint plate. And the wire connecting. Then the normal entrance again. And while I'm here, I might as well get started on the automation with the 2 sweepers. Then 1 and 2. And then up here it gets a bit more complicated. So we have 2 there. Then we have 1 here, another 2 there. And then we have another conveyor chute here. And this one here will have to go as basically as all of this here. Then we will have another raised floor here. On top of that, we will have space for our crafting station. Right there. Okay, now before I forget about it, let's add some temp shift plates here. Let's also add this down there. Then we have 1 here, 1 here, 1 there, and 1 there. Let's add another 1 there. Then we have 1 here and here. And 1 there. Okay, this is all starting to look pretty good. Yeah, let's continue with this raised ceiling here. And then we have our primitive door. Airflow tile. This one in place, and I'm going to keep this open for certain reasons. Okay. So we have some space here. Not enough, although. Nevertheless, we can at least add one kiln here already. And we can also plan the automation for this second kiln right there. Okay, this is all starting to look pretty good. So for the moment, once again, we are just going to concentrate on getting all of this here built. And now I can grab a second kiln, placed in this spot. Unfortunately, I haven't it unlocked yet, but this is where the diamond press will go. That will require some radiation, so I'm going to need a joint plate up there. Followed by a reflector here, here, and there. Then, before I forget it, we can also add a little bit of lighting here. And, yeah, let's go with that one. So we can add one here. We can add one there and one there. And that's it for down here. We might be able to add one here, but I don't think the emulsifier actually needs dupe labor. So that doesn't make too much sense. Oh, maybe one here though. Yeah, why not? Okay, now time for the next layer. For that, we are going to start with two very short floors here. And all the way to there. Then we have our... Wait. This is actually going to be something a little bit different. So, let's add those two doors for now. Then under stations, I need the botanical analyzer, which goes right there. Then I'll have a storage bin here, followed by a conveyor chute next to that. An auto sweeper here in the middle. Ladder on top. Then over here, we are going to put the research station. And then next to that, the virtual planetarium. Then, I'm going to stack 4 doors here. Then on the other side, we will have another storage bin. Then our supercomputer. Next to that, the materials studies terminal. With a little bit of distance, because we still need water, and that is where this bottle filler here will play a role. I can add a little bit of light here, or I have to add a little bit of light for these to actually form the proper buildings or proper rooms. Then over here we will have another one there. Then we go straight over and down, over, and then up. Then up again, and then up once more. Okay, then we will have our floor here. All of this here will have to go. Here we have the beginnings of some insulation. That will have to go all the way to the top here. Yeah, let's keep it open for now. We'll worry about this part here. At a later point, this will be a bit more complicated since... due to the temperatures we're currently looking at. Okay, then let's just continue over here by adding ceiling. And in here, we now have the space for a skill scrubber and a soldering station. I already have one further down, but I think I'm going to move this one here up at some point in the near future. We might keep it down there, though I'm not entirely sure yet. Okay, so we have a printable. Let's see. Some lime. We have a good amount, but more lime is always appreciated. Okay, and in this spot here, that is where I'm going to place the bark cleaner. Might not have been unlocked yet. Yeah, not unlocked yet. Okay, this will have to wait as well. Okay, then we still have a little bit of automation to add. For one, we have a conveyor chute here. Then we will need a ladder in this spot. I'm going to need auto sweeper here. Then a conveyor loader in this spot. Of course, first of all, we need to get rid of that one. Okay. Done. now I need to wait until all of this here is built before I can actually really continue. Except I can at least get started on the cooling loop again. So let's see, where did we leave this off? So go up here and here all the way to the top, I guess. Then we are going to continue here. And I'm wasting a lot of metal, but I have it. I definitely have it, so I might as well just... Okay, that works, I guess. Although, that is going to be a bit tricky. How do I want to do this? I will need some cooling in this corner up there. That is going to be very important. So I guess I'm going to go over here. Then go up. Return. Then go back here. And then I go up here. And that is where I will need more cooling actually. Then I will have to go through some insulation. And then I can close this off. Okay, that should make sure I cool everything I need. Now for the temp shift plates. The ones at the bottom are already in place. Let's add one here, then one there, one there, one here, one there. We need one here potentially, here, and then maybe there. Okay, all look good. Still not filled even halfway. Yeah, this is all going to take a decent chunk of time before I can really get done with all of that. I could add another one of those here too. Okay, so this is all looking good. And we can also close off the ceiling here. Although, this is where the power will come from. Oh, there's no power down there. Okay, this is all looking pretty good so far. Except I kind of forgot to add the wall here at the back, which for one allows my dupes to actually reach this part there, and for the other keeps my dupes from taking a shower in rat balls. At least at a later point once all of this here is running, which might cause some issues. Now, let's worry about the settings. So this one here goes to the right. Then this one here will feed diagonally into the studies terminal. Then right, those go up, that works. This one here will go down. These two go to the right again, and then this one here goes to the left. Okay, then we can add a little bit of automation here. With a NOT gate in there. That should be all I need to do over there. And we also now have the option to add our last research building, the artifact analyzer station, right in this spot there. And with that now in place, we can start filling the cooling loop. So for that we're going to need a bottle drainer. And the liquid I'm going to use, well, I would prefer nectar, but I don't think I have any in reserve. 20 kilograms is not a lot. Although we are starting to see some produce, so that is nice. Anyone coming, and pretty soon we should start seeing another 20 kilograms coming in here, but that is going to take a long time until I see anything for my personal use. Branches are also not entirely there yet, so I can't activate the grooming yet. Yeah, that is all going to take a bit longer. So that means I will need a different liquid, and looking at the temperatures, I might be able to get away with using polluted water. Might get a pipe or two breaking occasionally, but that shouldn't be too much of an issue. So let's use the polluted water. Anything else I'm missing? Yep, I'm missing my plant pulverizer, which will go there actually at some point. And the two metal refineries, and it's taking ages. Just going to add a few more here to speed up the filling of those two here. And yeah, once these here are full, all I need to do is grab a pipe and connect them. And I already prepared the pipe in question, so it was just the connecting. And if I speed this up, you can see this is starting to fill the reservoir. And then we'll go over here and stop since we have some coming in. And yeah, this also melted the 2 temp shift plates out of ice. So we now have the water in here for our steam chamber. So that is looking pretty good so far. The cooling loop is now also properly filled in, as you can see. I had a little bit of an issue with the pipes bursting until all of this here was heated up a bit more. But this seems to have calmed down now. Okay, so next step. Waiting until those liquid reservoirs have moved all of the content to the bottom ones. At which point I can remove them again and then replace them with the proper metal refineries. Let's go with ceramic. So one there, another one there. They are still missing a little bit of automation, so let's connect them with automation wire to the temp sensors down here, which will turn them on only if the coolant is below 250 degrees Celsius. So we are not in danger of overheating our 2 liquid reservoirs here, or the thermal controller. So cooling is done to -5 degrees, so it should also be safe. Then let's set this here. So we want this to turn on if we are below 1 ton of refined carbon, and I think I'm going with wood as the material for that. Over here we will produce as much ceramic as possible. Again with wood as the burnable material. Okay, this is all looking pretty good so far. Let us do a little bit of cleanup. I have some damage over there, but not going to bother with that. We might get some breakage in the future anyway, so I'm going to leave that as is for the moment. Okay, so the next big step would be setting up all of the interconnections, so power and the conveyors for the most part, but also a couple pipes. But I think I'm going to worry about this in the next episode. And that brings us to the end of this episode here. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like, share and comment if you did so. It really helps the channel. In the end of that, I wish you a nice day. And well, see ya.